Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue dans cette nouvelle vidéo sur la Gamescom 2025, la plus grosse convention, le plus gros salon de jeux vidéo d'Europe à Cologne en Allemagne. Cette année j'y ai été pour tester plein de jeux indépendants et pour discuter avec leurs développeurs, et pour une fois j'ai décidé de faire des petites interviews avec eux que vous allez pouvoir écouter tout au long de cette vidéo. Comme indiqué sur le petit panneau au début de la vidéo, cette vidéo est sous-titrée en français et en anglais, vu que les interviews sont en anglais mais que je parle durant le reste de la vidéo en français. Et je parle aussi d'autres petits jeux dont j'ai pas eu l'occasion d'interviewer les membres de l'équipe. La première grosse annonce, je peux pas passer à côté même si c'est pas indépendant, c'est Lego Batman 4, officiellement Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Le jeu a l'air dingo, mais il y avait bien trop de fils à la convention, donc j'ai directement été du côté des jeux indépendants. Ça sort pas tout de suite normalement, mais j'ai très hâte de voir ce que ça donne et de voir les nouveautés qu'ils auront implémentées. Le premier jeu que j'ai découvert du côté indé, c'est Nose, un jeu de plateforme narratif, et je vous laisse tout de suite avec du gameplay et l'interview.
Okay, I'm Jose Alberto Simon. We are a Spanish studio and I am the CEO.
So I just tested Nose, your new game, I guess.
Yes.
It was a really small demo. I really like the design of the character. What inspired you to do a game about a nose out of all of the things that you can do?
It was a book. It's a book from 1836. It's called The Nose from Nikolai Gogol. It's a Russian writer. And it's a very short book, but it talks about a nose that doesn't want to live anymore in this body that belongs to a villain, to a very evil person. That's why this nose decides to get out and to live, to look for freedom and also the freedom of another weirdos that he will find on the way.
Okay, and it does follow the book story pretty closely, or you took some liberties to adapt it as you wanted?
Bueno, we only took some parts of the book that we thought that were interesting. If you read the book, you will see that there are some references in this video game, but there are many. There is a very contemporary vision and a very personal development of the story. So.
Okay. And I saw it was kind of a walking simulator, but it's pretty slow and atmospheric. Is there parts of the game where it's more gameplay focused, or is it story focused on the whole?
Well, we focus on the story above all. So for us, the context and the storytelling is really important for the video game. There's the beginning, which is a little bit slow, let's say, because we want to talk about this narrative part. But then we start with puzzles, strategy. There's even a role change. So there are 5 scenes in this video game. In 4 you will play with the nose, and in one of them you will be the evil, the villain. And so you will understand why he's feeling like this, why he's so full of hate, why he's so haughty. And actually at the first moment he will be very embarrassed, and step by step he will get charged of violence again. Actually, it's very funny because you will see a very big contrast between the nose that uses the intelligence to solve problems and in comparison with the villain that uses violence all the time to solve everything.
Okay, thanks for that. And last question, where is the game in terms of steps, and how far are you from launching it?
It's quite finished, let's say. So these 5 scenes, they are very finished, but we are polishing it. We are starting from the beginning again, and we are making it look better. And I think our idea is to publish on 2026, probably in the second semester.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Ensuite, je suis tombé sur Humans, un jeu d'infiltration où l'on joue une petite créature qui peut effrayer les humains depuis l'ombre. Il doit attirer les humains qui campent dans la région de manière créative sans se faire attraper ou voir la lumière. Un petit jeu rigolo avec une créature très mignonne. Après cela, j'ai pu interviewer un membre de la création audio du jeu The Drawing.
Okay, my name is Gerard Van Genderen. I am the lead audio. I am the sound designer and music composer for the game The Drawing, that is created by We Need Weevils Interactive.
Okay. What are you the most proud of in the audio part of the game? So music, sound effects.
So there's plenty of things I'm very proud of. I think one thing I was very proud of making was music that would actually change depending on how much enemies you're fighting in the game. So it was very dynamic. It was my first opportunity to do something like that because I've seen it done in so many other like AAA games or AA games where they would take the music and make it maybe more intense or maybe like quiet down certain parts of it depending on how much action was actually going on in the game. I'm very proud that I like made the commitment to actually try and do that in my own game.
Okay. What are your inspiration in video game music, in this game or just in general?
Oh, that's a tough one. I draw inspirations from a lot of different places. One of my favorite composers for video games is Mick Gordon. He composed soundtracks for Doom games, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. He used a lot of guitars. He is also helping guitars become more popular in game soundtracks, I guess, or I should be more specific, like heavy metal and game soundtracks. I do take a lot of inspiration from metal and hard rock, so I think that's a big inspiration. I also like synthesizer stuff that Mick Gordon does too, and that's definitely something that I try to put into the game soundtrack for the Drawn Drink as well. A lot of it is really just me having pulling up a virtual synthesizer in my computer and just coming up with some of the funniest, zaniest sounds.
Okay.
And try to put that into music.
I see. And last question, where is the state of the game? Is it near being published? Is it in demo?
We are near completion of development. So it was originally a school project.
Okay.
It was built for our capstone game development course at the University of Alberta in Canada. We decided to continue developing it for about a year and a half. And now we're coming to the point where we are almost satisfied with the state of the game and are getting ready to release it very soon. We're hoping to release it sometime in fall, so sometime in the next couple of months.
Okay.
Hopefully September, October, maybe November. Delays happen, especially for a small studio like us. So.
Okay. Thank you.
J'ai aussi pu jouer à Blob de Klex, un petit jeu de parcours avec un chat qui a démarré comme projet étudiant. La physique est super marrante, le chat est presque élastique. Le jeu a même pas encore de page Steam, il est disponible que sur itch.io, mais j'étais vraiment impressionné par la qualité de la démo qui était présentée. J'ai aussi pu tester Baton Man, un jeu d'aventure énigme inspiré des bandes dessinées, dont voici l'interview.
Yeah, so I'm Ronnie Smutch. I'm the creator and the founder of the studio.
Okay.
End of the game.
How would you describe the style of the game? Because I saw there was some beat them all combat, some exploration, some detective stuff. So
Yeah, so we describe it as an adventure game with a beat 'em up angle to it. So you'd still be doing the adventure game stuff of exploration, of choices, of puzzles. But let's say you annoyed someone or you made the wrong choice, or even if you wanted to, you would fight them in a beat 'em up style combat.
Okay. And you can lose these fights, I guess.
You can lose this fight, but this is not a, let's say, Souls-like where you lose and you restart. But it is a story. It is a linear story with choices that define what happens to character, what your character will be like, and what the ending will be.
Okay. And the art style looks a bit like old comics, I would say. What are your main inspirations on
So
this?
for the art style, one of the main inspiration is Tintin.
Okay.
Our artist Sam loves Dutch comics and he wanted to emulate one. But also Smiling Jack
Okay.
was a big inspiration for our main character Bruce. And many of the comics from the 1930s, as close as can be to the year of the game in the game time.
And last thing, I don't know if the game is already released or if there's some release dates.
So the game is in demo stage on Steam, so the demo is available, and we will be updating it in a few weeks to include more of the first act post prologue. And we hope to release by April of next year.
Okay.
This is our goal we're working.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Après cela, j'ai joué à Burn With Me, un jeu qui devrait sortir l'été prochain. C'est un jeu où on doit combiner le pouvoir de cartes pour faire assez de dégâts à un ennemi. Certaines cartes font plus ou moins de dégâts en fonction des conditions sur le plateau au moment où elles sont posées. Par exemple, il y a des cartes qui font plus de dégâts si elles sont posées sans aucune carte adjacente. Il y a des cartes qui font des dégâts que s'il y a une carte adjacente. Vous pouvez en poser que 5 à la fois et ça doit suffire pour casser l'ennemi devant vous. Et donc vous devez faire évoluer votre deck au fur et à mesure. C'est développé par un couple habitué des game jam. Ça a une esthétique assez sombre et soignée. Moi je trouve que ça promet. Du côté de nos compatriotes belges, j'ai pu interviewer 2 membres de l'équipe derrière Swan Song, un jeu d'énigmes dans une boîte à musique.
So I'm Sander, and I do mostly 3D level design and the financial part of the studio.
Okay.
And I'm Bo, and I'm also doing 3D, and then also all the 2D stuff like UI, all the visuals, and everything that's like
Texturing.
yeah, textures and stuff, and like the banners and like the stickers and the branding things,
Okay.
the logos, those kind of things.
Well, first question, I heard you talk about the title of the game. Is this a reference to anything at all?
Yeah, Swan Song is basically the thing, and like the last hurrah of an artist, like the final, their best piece before they pass away, their masterpiece
Okay.
before they pass away. The whole game is really music based. It follows a family that's very into music, especially the mother is very into music. He's a composer, so that's why we took the name Swan Song, because it's about their story and her last composition, basically.
So it's not your last game, I hope.
No, it's not our last game. No, of course not. Of
Let's
course
hope not.
not. Yeah.
Okay. And talking about like the visual and stuff, what inspired you to do a kind of music box theme in your game? It adds a lot of charm to the game. What inspired you to do that?
We participated last year in the Game Makers Toolkit Game Jam, and the theme was
Built to scale.
built to scale. And because we thought like everyone's going to do something with like building and going up buildings or something and resizing stuff, we thought like, okay, maybe a music scales is something fun. And then we came on this idea of like a music box. Jonathan, our other colleague, actually did a project in the past with music, and some of that idea is in Swan Song. And then because we were working with music, the whole idea of like a music box sounded very interesting. I think everything take part in this music box sounded cool and aesthetically pleasing, and it kind of fit with our previous game as well. The whole top-down kind of diorama-esque look of the game.
I felt like it was, but it isn't. It is not a rhythm game.
No, it's not a
properly.
rhythm game. No.
Okay, so it's not needed to be perfectly accurate with sounds.
No, you don't need any music knowledge. You don't need to have any rhythm. It's purely puzzle based. The shapes of the music notes is actually the thing that determines how the puzzles work.
And last question, where's the state of the game? Is it already out? Are you going to release it soon?
We're planning on releasing somewhere next year around like April, May, somewhere around that. We don't have a specific date yet, since we're like not in production actually yet, so the demo is just done. Maybe if the level editor isn't done, we'll add that at a later date in a free update.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Très rapidement, Kaz, un jeu nerveux où l'on déplace notre carré pour attaquer le plus d'ennemis dans un temps imparti sans faire la moindre erreur. Ça a l'air assez simple mais plutôt technique en fait une fois que j'y ai joué. Il y a plein de skins différents aussi de plateaux, donc c'est assez sympa de pouvoir personnaliser la manière dont on joue. J'ai aussi pu parler avec un des développeurs de Die in the Dungeon qui est déjà sorti et qui a déjà reçu de bonnes critiques.
So my name is Gabriel, and I am the main programmer of Die in the Dungeon.
I think the game already released in 2025. What's your opinion on the current state of the game, and how are you trying to push it forward with updates maybe?
So yeah, we released on February of this year. The game is going, I would say, pretty well so far. Like, people are liking it. There were some things, mainly like UI stuff, that we have to fix, and it was like really nice to have the feedback from the players. Like, we're still in early access, so it's really important to like understand the things that are going wrong or are not exactly matching the what players like. But I think we have a clear idea now that what players like is mostly to understand from the get-go the game, and also especially more content, more enemies, more bosses. So that's what we are focusing on.
Okay. And I think last question, to be quick. I know that the turn-based roguelike format, there's a lot of game present in the genre. what's your main point that you can sell to people to say our game is different, our game does that better?
Okay, I think the main difference is pretty obvious for this game in particular, because obviously you have dice, but there is other games with dice. But you have this thing, this board that you have to use to combine dice together. So this is something that doesn't really exist in a lot of other games. It does exist on the board game part of things, but it's something that hasn't been explored that much. So I think it's very interesting, the ideas that you can create when you combine dice together.
Ok, perfect. Thank you. Thanks.
On a aussi pu tester Repeat After Me, un jeu d'énigmes où on peut enregistrer et faire répéter certaines actions à de petites créatures pour qu'elles nous aident à avancer dans les différents niveaux du jeu. Et enfin, un jeu que je suis ravi d'avoir pu tester, c'est Recur, un jeu d'énigmes avec du déplacement temporel, dont voici la dernière interview de cette vidéo.
So my name is Steffen Oberle. I'm one of the founders of the studio, and right now I'm responsible for mostly the story, and also I'm part of the art department, so I'm building assets and building some of the environments that you see in our game.
I already saw the game in the trailer, like this train part, for example. I feel like it has a lot of cinematic potential.
Yeah.
Is there a part in the game, maybe not in the demo, that you feel like is really one of the most mind-blowing thing with the time shifting thing?
So the train is already one of the shots that is really, really nice together with the time, because you have big things moving and you feel very mighty. So that's what the shots are all about, the time mechanic, because you want to feel mighty and you want to change a lot of things. But we have a couple of other shots where you also move like very big things, and you feel very powerful with while controlling the time. So I would say it's a money shot, but we have some other shots that can come close. Yeah.
And I have an obvious question, because you're wearing a hat, your colleague was wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Why is there a train theme in the game? If there is a reason, of course.
You mean why the character is a mailman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mail
It's a
gap.
mailman.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it was
it's a post.
Okay, I thought
thingy.
it was a train conductor.
No, it's a mailman. So we built in theory, a fairly normal city. I mean, it looks a bit weird in the middle, but in detail, it's a somewhat normal city. But then something very strange happens with the time, and we felt like it would fit if a normal person would experience the game, a normal person than you and I and a lot of other people can somewhat relate to, a young adult. And he experiences all these weird time mechanics and these time situations. So if we went with a very weird main character, we thought it would be maybe too much. So we just went with a very average young adult.
Okay. And last question, what's the state of the game? I think it's not released yet.
No.
Is there a time frame?
So we hope to release Recur at the end of 2026, so end of next year. We're working on it for about 3.5 years now, so we will still need some time, but yeah, we hope on the end of next year.
Okay. Thank you, thanks a lot.
Merci énormément d'avoir regardé cette vidéo, c'est une toute première expérience pour moi dans le monde des interviews, on va dire. Je ne suis pas du tout un journaliste professionnel, c'est juste que durant les précédentes Gamescom, j'avais toujours des chouettes interactions avec les développeurs, et je me suis dit que ça pourrait être sympa à intégrer dans une vidéo. J'espère que ça vous aura plu, n'hésitez pas à mettre votre avis sur la vidéo et sur les jeux présentés dans les commentaires. Merci encore aux développeurs qui ont pu répondre à toutes mes questions. J'espère pouvoir refaire ça l'année prochaine. Et sur ce, masto, point.